Hello and welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. We are live. Big up to each and every single one of you. I've got some good news to bring to you. It's official. I had the phone call. Aston Villa have won the Europa League. We've won it. Get the bus parade sorted. Get the trophy cabinet dusted and clean. Villa have won the Europa League because Crystal Palace. I'm going to say their word. They're gone. We're going to be covering that story today. Nottingham Forest, welcome in to the club. Welcome into the Europa League, fam. But yeah, Crystal Palace, they're gone. They're dusted. They're dusted. So there we go. Big up to each and every single one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're running up the likes if you're loving that news today or just loving life in general. It's been hot today, sweltering 35 degrees in the UK. I think actually the hottest we had in the car today went up to 38. So we've got the H2O ready. A little bit of a different platform. As I said, we're trying to hit 15,000 subscribers. Every subscription will help. Let's see that number rise up today. And who is in the house? Big up to British Mick, James Wood, Noel's in the house. Jono's in there as well. Big up to each and every one of you. And look, Kevin's already on the bandwagon. He's booked the hotel in Turkey already for the Europa League final. It's official. We're going to cover that news. Now, yes, I've been a little bit satire. I've been a little bit tongue-in-cheek, especially in the poll as well about the Crystal Palace. You're going to have your feelings on it. You're going to think it's really, if you step back away from the sort of rivalry and bogey side of Palace, is it unfair? Potentially is, isn't it? You would hate it to be on our side of life. If it was Aston Villa in that situation and we found out this news, I think we'd all be rioting. I think we'd all be on the ceiling. But that bloody C word, that Crystal Palace has caused us so much pain in the last couple of seasons that it is about time that we have a little bit of good due diligence and we get a little bit of fortune. So big up to each and every single one of you. I really do appreciate you here. It's hot, it's Friday. And if you come here to support me, then you lot are absolute legends. So thank you. I'm going to get the official news up. More news to come as well. Emi Martinez. Is he staying? Is he going? Well, more stuff has come out about Emi Martinez today that has absolutely got me thinking. And finally, as well, we have more news about Jhon Duran. There's a really good article that I need to show you guys about Jhon Duran. So I'm going to show you that one as well. But good evening. Stay hydrated. Big up to each and every one of you. What is the C word? Well, I've actually said it tonight, but the C word is that it's a bit like Harry Potter. And anyone who's joining in, obviously in Harry Potter they don't call Voldemort by his name, do they? They sort of call him he who shall not be named. Well, that was become what Crystal Palace were, a team that I couldn't actually physically say their name because they were making me ill. They were causing me nightmares, sweats. You know, maybe it's the reason why I sweat to these days because Crystal Palace are a team that we simply cannot beat. Now they're out of the Europa League. Now they're out of the Europa League, we can sleep well at night. But yeah, listen, the whole title is a little bit tongue-in-cheek and all that, but we're going to break down the teams in the Europa League still. And as I said, we're going here today because there's still not much transfer news. We're still holding on to Marco Bizot and the news of him hopefully signing in the next few days. I don't know if he actually played in the friendly for Brest today. I'm going to have a quick look as well, see if we can get any news on him because apparently he didn't want to risk getting injured. But apart from that, yeah, the transfer rumours and mills are slow. So that's why we're hitting on the Palace head. So, but yeah, big up to Paul Johnson, big up to Meeks as well. See if you got absolutely. But yeah, no bang bangs here. I predicted it on day one. Go on, Kev lad. Looks like Bailey won't be getting anywhere soon. We will obviously hold our hopes that we ship Bailey out. And an early super chat in the house as well. Big up to Vamos Vijay, Vamos. Big up to you. But yeah, look, we're going to talk all things in the chat. And Emi Martinez to Galatasaray. Well, you never know of these Turkish sides. It's all becoming a bit weird up there. But yeah, loads of good questions. Let's get straight into the article. By the way, StreamYard have changed all their buttons and I don't like it. It's not aesthetically pleasing. So here is what Ben Jacobs shared today. I thought this one was the best one. So look, this is where the news broke right here. Why have they changed all the layout and format? I don't like it. There we go. Changed it back there. Crystal Palace demoted to the Conference League by UEFA. Nottingham Forest upgraded to the Europa League, subject to an appeal. Crystal Palace likely to go to CAS. CAS, Court Arbitration of Sport, something like that. What is CAS? I need to go to that. So, if you're very unaware of how this broke out, or you're very unaware of how it all goes, it's all about Lyon. It's all about Lyon. Lyon had shared ownership as the same as the Crystal Palace owners. As you can see here, on 9th of July, the appeal instance of the French Financial Control Authority decided not to relegate Lyon to League Two. So Lyon didn't get relegated. That was the first part. Consequently, and following assessment by the of all irrelevant conditions, Lyon will not be excluded from UEFA competitions. Now, because of the rule, it is here the multi-club ownership criteria. And for that reason, you cannot have Lyon and Palace in the same competition because they have multi-club ownership. So for Lyon to stay in the Europa League, they had to then mean that Palace had to go into the Conference League. All madness. I thought it was that, John. I thought it was that. I appreciate it. Guys, first and foremost, this multi-ownership sort of situation. Aston Villa ourselves have that predicament in the fact we have multi-ownership with the V Sport Group, let's call it. We hope and pray that we never find ourselves in this situation. But it's brutal. Palace have waited their whole history, their whole heritage to get themselves into that position. They do it on merit by winning the FA Cup. However, maybe, just maybe, the owner of Crystal Palace never thought that Palace would be in Europe and never get themselves in that situation, as Meeks is alluding to that. And Kevin has said it's garbage, though, as Man United and ourselves have the same issues. It's all nuts, really. It's absolutely crazy in that regard. However, this is where it's not officially confirmed about Palace. Have a look at this one, what Ben Jacobs has said. Palace are going to go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Big up to John for putting that in for me. Which will delay Nottingham Forest being officially confirmed in the Europa League. The court will hear an expedited case. Oh, great word there. Once Palace formally lodge an appeal and club financial control body are forced to wait before turning Forest's provisional Europa League place into an official one. So what is being said is that we still can't get the party poppers out. We still can't quite say we've won the Europa League yet, but it looks that way. It looks almost nailed on, dead cert, that Crystal Palace will be pushed into the Conference League and we will see Nottingham Forest take their place, which is great. I think James makes a really good point. Leeds still in Europe and not out altogether. That's the one thing that Palace can hold on to. And do you know what now? I'm going to probably say this. I actually, in a way, it would be sort of nice to see Palace win that Conference League and put their two fingers up. Only if Villa win this competition, though. Because I can't have another team like Palace winning back-to-back silverware 2 seasons in a row and Villa go blank again. So it would be quite ironic if they won the Conference League and put their two fingers up to UEFA and said, now let us into the competition we should have been in. But they could have these problems again. So LA's already read my mind because I've got the tables and pots up for you now. So we're going to have a look at the Europa Leagues and the teams in the Europa Leagues in a second. Forest are delighted, but everyone being sold are in despair. No good having a load of money now they've got to replace. Not easy, exactly. But at least they could say they've got the pool of the Europa League. But yeah, big up to each and every single one of you. Make sure you're smashing the life out the like button for me. I would appreciate that massively. And again, I've broken my rule. I haven't actually shared the stream myself. So yeah, do of course do that. And yeah, listen, people, I'm going to now show you the fellow competitions to Villa. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that as well. Let's get that up right now. Here we go. The teams that are in our sort of pots. These are not official pots, by the way, but where is it? Here it is. Here are the pots. Prime Chelsea fan says, you didn't win conference and you think you can win Europa. Listen. Everyone keeps telling me this is Unai Emery's competition. This is what neutrals are telling me. This is what rivals are telling me. That, man, don't worry about. This is what I kept getting told, people. This is what I kept getting told last season. Champions League's above you. You need to focus on the Europa League. That's Unai Emery's competition. Well, here we are. We're in it. Let's see if he can cook, and let's see if he can do it. Do you know what I mean? Let's see if he can go and cook. Let's see if he can go and do it. I believe he can. And I've got utmost faith in him. So, yeah, I've got no doubts about it in my mind. We're going to be absolutely fine. But, yeah, Chelsea versus PSG. Pray for Chelsea. But, yeah, these are the pots, then, of the teams. Now, Villa are going to be in pot 1. So, in the coefficient. But, again, remember, it's like the Champions League format we had last year. You're going to have the sort of multifunctional league table. You have the same teams you're sort of going to play. You're going to have 2 teams from pot 1, 2 teams from pot 2, etc. Pot 1 teams, I ain't scared. There's teams we've already dusted off before. Do you know what I mean? Teams like Lille, not scared. Give me them again. Especially if Chevalier signs for us. But yeah, that's where we're on the coefficient. We're nailed in that pot 1. There could be a beautiful reunion in pot 2 with Fenerbahce, Jhon Duran, Marco Asensio. That's what already written in the stars. Lyon, there they are, the big tick. It'd be funny if Lyon basically go far as well in this competition. But yeah, you can see, look, pot 1 and pot 2 are where you want to look at. As I said, AS Roma, Porto. I'm not scared of Rangers. I'm not scared of Feyenoord, Lille, Zagreb. All right, Real Betis. They did well. They obviously got to the final in the Conference League, and Chelsea tore them apart. But yeah, Fenerbahce, I'm looking at 3-4 teams in there. There's no reason now. I can't even pause to think. There's no reason why we can't be cleaning that up. And every team you see here is only the teams going to be in this competition. You're not going to see any teams in the Champions League drop into this. So every team I've got on my screen, chat, are the only teams that can stop Villa winning the Europa League. How does that feel? How does that feel? Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on that one. I mean it. Pot 1, pot 2. I'm seeing 3 or 4 teams. That's it. Porto, Roma, Fenerbahce. I ain't scared about Lille, Feyenoord, Zagreb, Betis. Honestly, I say that with chest as well. So 4 or 5 teams. It's the Fenerbahce one. Imagine that one. Imagine playing Jose Mourinho in a final. That's the one man I'd be scared of. In fact, I'll tell you now. Now that Crystal Palace have been knocked out, there's one man I fear. Jose Mourinho. The guy's a serial winner. The guy's a serial winner. He knows how to win trophies. And not only that, just imagine Jhon Duran scores the winner. Oh, God, imagine that. No, he's at Fenerbahce. Imagine that, Jhon Duran. Heidi would have to tranquilise me because my head would be on the ceiling. If Jhon Duran scored the winner to stop Aston Villa winning a cup, I'm feeling the putas. See, she already knows. She already knows my reaction, don't you? Oh, God, it's the reaction. She knows. She knows. Oh, finals in Istanbul. Oh, wow. Turkish teams are going to want that as well. Damn, it's all there. Yeah, big up to every one of you. Let's run those likes up for me, people. 84 of you in the house so far. Make sure you smash it up. Big up to you. Roma's good too. Yeah, I do fear AS Roma. I'm not going to lie. They've got a good steep history in European competitions. But yeah, I wish Roma would change their name constantly, fighting there. Yeah, they've probably gone that for their whole life, haven't they? But British Schmidt, that's your job, isn't it, with a pun? Scared of nobody in this tournament. Kevin's got no fear. That's the difference. There's no teams dropping down like season's gone. Exactly. So what you see is what you get. This is it. This is it. But yeah, Chelsea have absolutely made a killing on this Club World Cup as well. LA says Roma, Porto, and Fenerbahce are the only hard sides, and known as we will get them all. Listen, if you can't remember how it works in this competition, you get 2 from pot 1, 2 from pot 2, 2 from pot 3, 2 from pot 4. So it doesn't matter who we play in the pot 1 in the first phase. I'm not worried about it. Let's have a quick laugh at pot 3 and 4. It's not quite like Conference League settings, but there's some funny names in here. Remember Legia Warsaw? Do you know what, chat? I wouldn't mind a little rematch of Legia Ultras. They were the ones who got banned from coming into our stadium for throwing all the ketchups. And when I took Hiding Star, we actually went to the van where they got all the ketchups and threw it, tried to get it up there, and they've had to fence that off. Anderlecht's interesting, but there's Nottingham Forest. They reckon Nottingham Forest will go into pot 3. That's interesting. Forest are going pot 3, will they? Okay. And then look, Lechny Poznan, Stuttgart, Panathinaikos, Utrecht, Genk. These teams, man. Genk, yeah, Genk. Sounds like gunk, something on your feet. Do you know what I mean? There's a piece of Genk on your foot, something like that. Like, I can't. Yeah, it was the McGinn winner against Legia. So look, whoever we get, I think what Kevin is absolutely true in saying is I ain't scared. Can't be scared. Shouldn't be scared. I refuse to be scared. So bring it on. But the way the world works, the whole decision with Crystal Palace still could have a massive U-turn. They could be back in it, and then I'm scared again. Imagine living your whole life in fear of Crystal Palace as a football fan now. That's what they've done to us. Prime's going to come back when you're Club World Cup champs. Seriously, if you beat PSG, then I'll probably shake a Chelsea hand and say, do you know what? Fair. But it's not for everyone beating PSG. Only certain teams in Birmingham can do that at Villa Park. And if Esri Concert, guys, every time I talk about PSG at home, do you know where my mind goes to? That Esri Concert header. And the Ron Rashford nearly curled top. But I still can't get that image out of my head. Is everyone else still the same? When anyone mentions Villa and PSG, can you remember that home game? One of the best games ever. We had a great night in here watching that game, didn't we? The PSG Villa one at home. But it was that Esri Concert header. Comes in, free header, just misses it. I can't. If he scored, it would have been limbs. Who knows? We may have stopped PSG winning the Champions League. That's how much I agree on that. But there we go. So that's one piece of news and admin to get done is the Europa League side of things. It's exciting. Forest will be looking at what they can do and seeing on that. I need to keep that story. Let's go to the Emi Martinez situation then. And then I'm going to go and show you a really interesting news article about old JD. Because JD is... God, what's Gmail doing? So I need to... sorry, I was trying to get an article thing. I've got this thing right. I've got a little hack. You know, there's some articles where you've got to pay for a subscription for. I've got a hack to stop that, but I needed a link to do it. Good old Wolfie sorted me right out of that. Here it is. I need to save it somewhere. It's called an archive thing. Boom. Right. Okay. How much you guys want for Rodgers? 65. You got to be joking me. Rodgers is a 100 mil player. 100 mil and the rest. I see the McGinn's had that Donnarumma save. Yeah. That's it. Right, here we go. Emi Martinez situation. Let's go to it. Okay. Goes really complex. You've got to go deep into it. And it's a thread of things. Okay. So Jacob Tanswell posted this story about Emi Martinez. He says, Villa finalised terms to sign Marco Bizot from Brest, 34-year-old regarded a good character of experience and low-cost fee, other key factors. I like that he's a good character as well. That's not bad, is it? Will be goalkeeper number 2. So you can sleep well, Villa fans. We know he's the number 2 keeper. Target position field for Villa and remain in pursuit of defender and winger. Hallelujah. There's people actually making sense at Villa now and seeing what we need to cover and what gaps we need. Yes, Forest, the rules are the rules. Preach, preach, preach. The rules are the rules. Forest in pot 3. We'll avoid you in the groups and then we'll play Forest in like quarterfinals or something and we'll bash them because why not? Listen, this is where the story gets interesting. So this is Jacob Tanswell, right to the Athletic. Righty says, what were the Emi tears at full time in last home game about if he's not leaving? True, because that was where the whole rumour mill started because we all saw Emi crying against Spurs at Villa Park. And then we saw him get sent off against Man United the week after, and we thought, oh, wow. And then look at what Jacob Tanswell replied, because he thought he was. Let's pause on that story because he thought he was. Emi Martinez thought he was leaving. And interesting. I think that has caused a lot of speculation when you say he thought he was. Thoughts are potentially a conversation may have happened to Emi Martinez behind the scenes where they said, Debu, we're a little bit worried about SCR and PSR. If a top team comes in, we may have to let you go. I don't know. Hey, Wolfie's in the house. I was waiting for this guy. Listen, here he is. Hello, fellow Europa competitors. We'll come back to the Emi in a minute. My guy, I'm shaking your hand. Congrats. We're celebrating, mate. As you can see in my title, we've already won the Europa League, so we don't have to play Crystal Palace. We don't have to play Crystal Palace. So we've won it. We'll take Fenerbahce and Jose Mourinho in the final. And really let Jhon Duran know that he's made the wrong choice, and Marco Asensio. But yeah, it's awesome. You see in the final, even better. But yeah, every time Wolfie come on, I swear to you, I'm going to message you after the stream and say we need to have a little chat live, and we'll talk about how you're feeling now going to Europa League and your transfer situation, because I feel like we've got to do that. And I know I keep saying it, but we need to do that. But yeah, big up to anyone who supports the team in the Europa League. You goated. Anyone who's in a Club World Cup final, no one cares. Actually, just no one cares. No one cares. That's how I feel. Does anyone actually care about the Club World Cup outside of the teams who are in it? Like, does anyone? Real talk. Does anyone actually care about the Club World Cup apart from if you're playing it? So yeah. Look at this. We've already got the crunch talk. Villa shit the bed in the big games. Take the final. It's true though. See, it's actually become that. We have become the team known who bottle it. So we have to fight that label, chat. We do have to fight that label. Anyway, back to Debu. Big up to the Europa League competitors. Big up to Europa League competitors. And guys, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Do subscribe to Forest Fan TV as well. I'm sure everyone has, because I keep telling you to, because this guy's the one. This guy is the one. Wolfie is the one. I love Wolfie. He's so easy to vibe with, and he's the best wind-up merchant. And I'm all for that. But listen, here we go. Emi Martinez. I think civil on the Forest fan base, just seeing that. Emi Martinez. I don't think he's going. And look of some of the comments. Look at some of the comments on here. It's funny. So this is some people's reactions. It means nobody knows. If no offers come in, he stays. If an offer comes in, he may go. That's what it means. I want to add on that in a second. He was never going. All the abuse he got was for nothing. That could be also an awkward situation. But then the question is, who is the SCR sell this summer? Which is also something we need to address. And then James put, I said this at the start, that he was told that he was a PSR sacrifice and that he wasn't the one angling to leave. I think we've not had a bit of our valuation, and he's happy to stay, and we're happy to keep him. The women's team sale was the plan B. I agree on each and every single one of those points. However, what I will say is this, people. Emi Martinez now, I think, looks set to stay. And some fans have come and been very vocal about him leaving. Some people have come in quite harshly on him. And we've jumped the gun potentially. What I will say is, however, the other side of the coin, not to defend them, is what if legitimately Villa didn't receive a single offer for him? What if literally, real talk, apart from the Saudi League, where he's basically outright said, no, I don't want to play there. He's actually said, no, I don't want to play there. What if Emi got literally pulled blanks? Pause on that one. But what if Emi actually had no attraction, no offers, no one wanted him? Where are people in the chat about that? Let me know your stance on Emi Martinez. Do you think it was A, simply Villa were going to sell him, but because of the sale of the women's team, we've now said we don't need to? Is it B, no one came in for him, and he's actually been left idle, and Villa have looked at it and gone, Christ, no one's actually come in for him. We're just keeping now. Or is it C, this transfer is still on? This transfer is still on. Where are we at in the chat? Where do we stand with the Emi Martinez situation, people? Do let me know your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions around that one. LA says, don't want him staying. He isn't inconsistent enough. Said this since the start of the season. Wow. So who would you upgrade, LA? Who are you looking to upgrade? Who are you looking to have as an upgrade on that stance? There's no guarantee Martinez still stays, but what have I been saying for weeks? You have Kev, you have. I think we're going to sell him, but since Garcia joined Barca, we're sticking with him. So you don't think we're in for Lucas Chevrolet? He needs a stronger number 2 for competition, which is hopefully what we've got. You should sell Martinez in cash, in my opinion. Listen, we're trying to get cash off. Oh, no, we won't lose cash. That's as simple as that. We won't lose cash. But look, Emi Martinez set to stay. I think it's going to happen. I get Chevrolet. Listen, if we got Chevrolet and Dumfries or Jan Bissek, it's the biggest upgrade in football I've ever seen in my life. If you lost Emi Martinez and Matty Cash, and we got Chevrolet and one of Dumfries or Jan Bissek, it's the biggest upgrade you ever see. Big up Fraser, I hope you're well. If Chelsea win the Club World Cup, does it make them the best club in the world? If not, and PSG win, shall they be the best? It's all a load of bollocks, that Club World Cup. I'm sorry to say it. I can't look at it. Right, chat. So this is the final thing, and I think this is interesting here as well. Guys, make sure we run up the like button for me. I would appreciate it. It says, thought we still needed one major outgoing to satisfy SCR. Maybe Bailey and fringe players is enough for the season with this plan we've got with UEFA. Everyone is still worrying about SCR, which is probably right. And if anyone keeps sitting there in the chat or is watching and going, what the hell is SCR? It's squad cost ratios. So where are we with our wages, basically? Where are we with our wages? SCR. Do you agree with this statement here? Do you guys agree with this statement here? I found something really good. I think I saved it on my phone, actually. Let me have a quick look. So this apparently, someone worked out the wages of I've got to find this now. What post did this guy put it on? Yes, here we go. I can actually put it on this post here. Ready? Have a look at this. So this guy's done a little bit of breakdown. I quite like it. Potentially, this could be where we're at with wages. I don't know how clear this is for people. It's not very good, the black background, but we'll do our best with that. Here, look. Buendia, 75k a week. Rumours are Buendia is on 75k a week on that one. Moreno, 35k a week. Don't tell me that's true about Dendoncker. And saying here, that needs fact checking. Dendoncker, 75k a week. Najolkovic, 20. Enzo Ballantrae, 15. Lewis Dobbin, what are we doing with that? 23k a week. And Leon Bailey, 120k a week. Get rid of each and every single one of those players, and we have absolutely smashed our wage bill. If anyone's got any quick maths there, then that would be good. See if I can do a bit of quick maths there. In terms of the wage bill, 120, 140, 165, 185. That's 150 there. So 235, 200. It's about 270k. That's about 200. That is 270k of wages, roughly, right there, to get off the books. With players that are, if that Dendoncker one, if that Dendoncky shout is true, we need to riot. I want to find Steven Gerrard right now and put him on a lynch. Who on earth authorised Dendoncky on 75k a week? Buendia's on a lot as well. 75k for Buendia's a lot as well. So We got to slice that. We got to dice that, and we've got to make sure get Leon Bailey off the books, and then the rest. I think we're right on that. I think we are right on that. I do think that. I just sold another Seat for my own PSR, and yeah, Donkey. Is Donkey on 9th? Don't. I didn't realise the Donkey is that bad. Is my maths that bad, Meek? So I appreciate you doing it for me. Was the final deal we agreed with UEFA to introduce SEO only for last season includes? I think it's to show that we've improved for the 25-26 season. Donkey on 90k. No wonder the world is effed. It's crazy. Noel reckons Emi will be gone. Martez is an emotional guy. I don't believe he wants to leave, but PSR issues have gone, so let's see. I think he's STEM. Fab tweet says Bakayoko is only going for 20 million. Has that just come through now, has it? Let's have a quick look. Big up to each and every single one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, wow. This is a guy. Look, we're not even in the conversation anymore. We're not even in the conversation now for Bakayoko. Have a look at this. Why are we not in for this guy? PSV are set to sell Johan Bakayoko as they receive 5 approaches for the winger. RB Leipzig, Bayer Leverkusen, Everton, Forest and Bournemouth have all called to open discussions. Requests around 20 million, add-ons included. What are we doing out here, chat? What are we doing? Why are we not interested in this guy? Unless his wages are astronomical. Kevin reckons we're going to come in and sweep. Anyone else sense that? Anyone else sense that? But the fact that Everton and Bournemouth are in for him, come on, guys, let's wake up a little bit here. Let's sort this out, Villa. Meek says, buying another car now and already have it sold for double next week. Put me in trouble. Meeks, can you run my Meeks? Right, when are we going to business, bud? Oh, I don't know what I can offer you in terms of helping the cars, but in terms of teas and coffees and entertainment, in fact, I'll help grow Clay's YouTube channel. How about that one? But there we go. He's on about 12k a week. Thor says that stinks. We're not in for him. It's madness. Villa do quite business under Emery, mate. We do. But sometimes you got really worried YouTubers like myself wanting to know what's going on. Oh dear. But yeah, big up to you guys. Perisic took Bakayoko's starting spot last season at PSV. Maybe that's why. Did not know that. But yeah, big up to you guys. Big up to Pete Bailey as well. Right. So that one's cleared. I wanted to show you a really bizarre story about Jhon Duran. I know he's long gone, but this guy, I don't know. Every time I read about Jhon Duran, he's 21 and a half years old. Every time I read about this guy, I absolutely think this guy is cooked in the head. Like he's nuts. He's absolutely nuts, old JD. Right, I've got the article. So let me just get this up first. So this is from The Athletic. So Tanswell, have a look at this. This was actually reported today, and I thought a 35-year-old Perisic displacing Bakayoko is something to worry about, actually, yeah. Bissek is on 36k a week and cash 80. Stop it. What would Dumfries be on a week? Wow, Starry reckons 100, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Tanswell put this earlier. Aston Villa staff followed Jhon Duran with keen interest. Other observers had long insisted that his Saudi adventure would not last long, despite a long-term contract. Piece details new info on Villa final days and who brokered the move to Mourinho's Fenerbahce. I want to hear about his final few days. Apparently, he absolutely flew off. Have a read of this. I'm reading it for the first time with you guys. So yeah, loving all the rumors in the chat as well. Big up to you guys. 97 of you in here. Make sure you're smashing the like and do subscribe as well if you're new. We really do appreciate it. So here we go. The strange career path of Jhon Duran. I like this as well. Age 21 and a half. Don't forget that half. Do you know what I mean? Because he's showing maturity. If he's only 21, he sounds young. But if you add the half, you're starting to see a mature guy now. Yeah, there we go. Gorav comes in. Hey, can someone explain me about Conference League playoff rounds? I'm gutted. Basically, you're not even guaranteed in the Conference League yet. You need to win your playoff games, whoever you're facing up. And if you win your playoff game, then you're in the Conference League, the main competition. As simple as that. Big Dens. Denzel Dumfries is on 83k a week, is he? Get him in. Right. I want to find about his final days. Duran's latest move, a season long known at Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce, is the latest installment in an increasingly peculiar career. In some ways, the Colombian's path mirrors a career in reverse, nomadic and strange in nature as he again steps outside Europe's most competitive leagues. Fenerbahce is Duran's fourth club in 2.5 years and his third in 10 months. That's pretty bad, isn't it? And it was only last October that Duran was signed a new 5.5 year deal at Villa. That's madness, isn't it? That's actually madness that last October, he was on a 5-0. I forget that. And yeah, 77 million for Duran. I love it. Duran smiled from photos on a private plane. His long-term representatives, including agent Jonathan Herrera, are active social media presences and were quick to post it arrived in Istanbul airport. Blah, blah. But we want his final days at Villa. Look at this. Duran's career, still in its nascent stages, is already full of intrigue. He is a complex character with his transfers following a similar theme. A player who Villa felt and still feel could be the world's best striker remains an enigma. Chat, let me know right now. Do you think Jhon Duran still has potential to be the world's best striker? Do you think he is that good and that natural that he could be the world's best striker? Or are we living in an era where this guy is a hype merchant? Starry trying to say Ronaldo's better, bless her. Are we living in a world where he is and still is a hype merchant? Is Jhon Duran a hype merchant in the sense of he just blasted it at Villa and it's just not settled anywhere or since, has it? In that sense. He definitely has potential. Complex is a nice way of putting it. It's true. It is actually true when you say that. But yeah, that's a nice way, isn't it? Still, as I said, I'm hunting for. He'll need a manager that can help him achieve his potential. Mourinho might be that guy. I want to see his final days. Look at even that photo of Jhon Duran there. He's just showing you that this guy is just absolutely off his nut. It was only this time last season when Villa fought off interest in Duran. They looked past his social media misdemeanors, be it deleting all Villa-related posts or his iron-shaped gesture on Instagram Live after West Ham United had a bid dismissed and showered him with affection. Again, going back to that, who remembers that? Duran with his hammer sign, but also he did delete all Villa content. Unai Emery does not tend to indulge players, but realising Duran's potential, he and his close aides held regular talks with him, insisting a marked improved salary would be on the way and gave him the number 9 shirt at the start of the campaign. That was also a big move from Unai actually to do that, giving Jhon Duran the number 9. Provided his mind was attuned, they hoped he'd follow a steady path of progression, culminating in the forward either replacing Ollie Watkins or being sold for 100 million later down the line. Yeah, so Unai, big fan of him. And they were proud of him. Let's find where he was. Oh, look at this. They thought of interest from Atletico Madrid and Benfica to persuade Duran to join, hosting him, his agents and father in the border at Villa Park. The club put on a 3-course meal and created an emotional video of Duran making his father cry. They really pulled the stops. Teammates and staff were often blown away by Duran's ability in training and what he could produce, to the extent that his thunderous win against Everton in September was not seen as a surprise. What a goal that was. He was on the bench. Observers noted it'd be difficult to anticipate how effective Villa's game plans would be when Duran played, as he would not always follow instructions in and out of possession and struggle to link play when coming deeper. That's what I've always said about Duran. That's what I always said about Duran, and people used to criticize me on that. I actually used to say Duran's so much better off the bench. Duran's not as good as playing with his back to goal. Duran comes too deep when we have it. And sometimes, but yeah, sometimes I feel like that is something that goes unnoticed in what Duran is like. And clearly that article saying struggles in that of possession. So there we go. Big up Les and Jamie. Hope you're well, Les. My wife will go to avoid unreal. Josh Duran has outperformed Watkins by miles. We can't deny it. Did deserve more minutes than we were giving him. I get that. I get that. My only issue is, as I said, I think that article's right. Duran had his flaws when we started him. He wasn't as impactful because he couldn't stick to a game plan. The one thing I would say about Jhon Duran was that when the game was a little bit up in the air, when the game needed a bit of magic, when the game lost its structure, that's when Jhon Duran was unbelievable. At times, Duran reminds me of Juan Pablo Angel. What a legend. These rules are totally nuts. If ever there was a problem, how and why were other clubs allowed to play? No sanction last year. Yeah, I must admit, if it was one of the top corrupt six in Crystal Palace's situation, they would not be kicked out of the Champions League. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's interesting. Shame really, because if we had knuckled down Duran with quality goals per 90 dismissal of those criticisms, true. Wolfie is a bit, yeah. If Duran hadn't shit the bed, he would have been our number one forward going into the new season. That is true. That is true. And big up Gurav is going to support the Villa. Big up to you. Let's see what else this article says from the New York Times. Sorry, from the Athletic. Development was hindered by Villa's exasperation over Duran's off-field misdemeanors, considering they had worked hard to cut out previous issues and regarded new errors as easily avoidable. There were instances of him arriving late and disturbing team meetings. Dear, oh dear. There'll be other occasions when Duran would tell club doctors he was injured, even if this was not evidenced on later scans. His attitude had been noted by multiple sources who said it could stray close to breaching Villa's disciplinary standards. So there we go. He was turned up late, disturbing team meetings, faking injuries, prattling around. Villa sources stated that if Duran had wanted to stay in January, they would have been more determined to keep him. The club's PSR situation called for either Duran or Watkins to be sold that month, and Villa were not totally opposed to the idea of the latter going, as it would likely mean Duran would relish a sense of responsibility of being the main striker and, in return, potentially solving problems with behaviour. So, wow. If this is all true, now I know that Jacob Tanswell has some sources inside Villa who do feed him this information and he doesn't like to reveal who they are. Now, whether how reliable they are, but it was there in writing. Villa were actually willing to let Ollie Watkins go in January and would have kept Duran. Think of that. But because of his attitude, because of his discipline issues, because of his approach to Villa, Villa looked at it and thought, well, it's a no-brainer. Duran won't stay anywhere. Loose cannon springs to mind. It is. Duran is a bit mental. He's the Howard Hughes of football. The kid's never going to get to the top. Wrong mentality. Exactly. If he's turning up like that, then you know Pete saying Duran was a star at Villa. Let's be real. His goals were the only. Yeah, his goals were quality for Villa. As much as I hate us being owned by players, the rest is very harsh. Yeah, it is harsh. We just had to do tongue and cheek with them as well. But listen, that's really big news. That Villa were actually willing to let Watkins go in January. They weren't opposed to the idea. And yet we chose Duran, which looks like is the right idea. Duran made it clear he wanted Saudi Arabia. And so there. Money, it says, therefore, understanding Duran's decision does require context. Money, unashamedly, has always been a driving force in his transfer moves, having been without it for much of his childhood. Villa grew tired of Duran's recurring desire to leave. They accepted they could not get through to him, even if he was playing well on the pitch. This felt strength from multiple staff believing that his level was not sustainable due to significant overperformance in his expected goal rate. There was a fear that the more Duran played, the less money Villa could fetch. That is exactly how I felt about Jhon Duran. And I'm glad someone else put it. I basically said he had one good half a season and we've managed to cap 75, 80 million for someone who could the next season completely die off a pan. Like I've always said this, I think I've said Duran, we've managed to con the world by getting 75, 80 million for a guy who had one good half a season. How many footballers go for that after half a season at the top level? And look, the Villa analysis and statisticians basically said there's a real fear that Duran's overperforming. Because let's have a look at some of his goals he scored. They're wonder goals. The Bayern goals, the Everton goals. Duran was scoring worldies, and you think, God, how often is he going to be able to do that? Also wasn't a starter. Villa people thought he was overperforming. And do you know what? Looking at how he's gone in Saudi, now he's gone to Turkey. Villa have absolutely pulled off great business. Imagine if we sold Ollie Watkins, went with Jhon Duran, and we had an inconsistent Jhon Duran, or we had a Jhon Duran who was still itching to leave. The guy was chasing money. It's literally been said because of his childhood. And so we've made the right decision, in my eyes. Yes, big up, Catch. Big up, Catch. Is this your YouTube channel, Catch? Big up to you, my friend. It's been a while since we've had a chat on Never a Foul. And I'll never forget where you done me dirty on there. But yeah, big up to you. I hope you're well. Hope you're good. Duran's natural talent is undeniable. Who is a fan of Duran? Be real. Are you in like Camp Meeks? Meeks is standing, and I like this. Meeks is standing strong with his opinion. He said, I can't agree. Duran's natural talent is undeniable. He thinks he's world beater. Are you thinking Duran's a world beater, or do you think we've done the right move? Do you think we actually made the right decision, got rid of him at the right time, people? Do let me know. Let me go to the comments. Grealish, absolutely quiet. Although Dean Smith did say something about Grealish today. Dean Smith said that he's been in regular contact with Jack Grealish, wants Jack to be playing football. Who knows? Is Dean going to push a move back in that way? Thinking of what you said, I believe you're right, Josh. Duran's world-class super sub and was only better than Watkins, but he could come off the bench to do things, and no mentality is number one. That's how I felt, Disciples, yeah. It's exactly, James, I'm with you. Josh, do you think Duran's better than Ollie? No, I think Ollie's numbers have been consistent enough for me to say no. I stand by consistency. I stand by data and consistency. I stand by the fact that Ollie Watkins has had 3 consistent seasons now at Aston Villa. And in his worst season, still produced great numbers. And I think that we'll be silly to do that. Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Gorav says great business as well. Let's see. I really love Villa. They're good football, and I highly rate Emi. Yes, you do. We don't miss Duran when he left in the Champions League. We went deep into the competition. Yes, that's a great one. I know Craig's right at the Villa. Big up our off strategy business agents doing nice business for sure. Agree. Yeah, bro. Gonna shout you due to start mine with my boy. Yes, Catch. Yeah, definitely. Would love to help you out on that. Big up to you, my friend. Yeah, best way to shout me. I'll grab your number actually off Cass. I'm sure he's got your number. I'll grab your number on that. But yeah, no iron team, absolutely. But yeah, big up the Catch starting up a channel. I love that. Grealish has come back. Wait, I'm waiting to do the Grealish news. I'm waiting for those rumours to get going again. We've got nothing on it. And finally, meets some of the best players with natural talent need to be able to free roam to get the best out of them. Rooney was like that. Jack was like that also. Over-restrain them. The tactics ruin it. But that is Unai Emery, guys. And that is one thing that maybe Unai Emery holds certain Villa players back. Unai Emery is very methodical, very positionally structural based, very like you need to be here in this moment. You need to be here in this moment. You need to be here in this moment. I will never forget this moment. When Star and Heidi and I went to watch Aston Villa versus Cardiff City in the FA Cup, and it was 0-0, and Villa were playing slow, lethargic football, but Unai kept doing this whole calm and patience thing. I'll never forget, it was second half. Emi Martinez gets the ball, and he smashes it upfield. First time in the game, really, gets the ball and punts it upfield. And after that moment, Unai is going wild, crazy. He was telling Emi we should have calm and play and roll it out and play from the back. 15 seconds later, Villa put the ball in the back of the net. First time Villa went long against Cardiff and we scored. No joke. I'll never forget that. And sometimes Unai's way of this slow, patient build-up has got us fans sat there sometimes going, ball speed's too slow. We've got to quicken this up. Why don't we go a bit longer? Why don't we go forward a bit quicker? Unai has his philosophy. Unai has his ways. And it is simply about that patient build-up. It is simply about that great play, and it is simply about playing with patience. But sometimes us fans, like we did against PSG, we want the shackles off. We want total football. We want gun-ho football. We want attack, attack, attack. I think Unai, for me, if I had one criticism of Unai, I'd like to see him do that a little bit more. I'd like to see Unai Emery get his patient build-up, but have that violent approach. I'm going to call it violent approach because that's all I can think of with PSG. Is we basically got Unai Emery's rule book, and maybe Unai did as well. And he went, F this, F this. Let's just go for it. Just go for it. No, Austin McPhee hasn't gone. It's Austin McPhee's assistant that's gone. Do not get confused with that one. Austin McPhee's assistant has gone, not Austin himself. We are going to wrap up here, chat, because I haven't got any more Villa news to talk about. But there we go. There's no rumours. There's no links. We're all good. So big up to each and every single one of you. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed. Thank you to those who have commented. Thank you to those who have liked. Make sure you've got your notification bell on. Honestly, the support in the last 2 days means a lot. I want to keep building this channel. We want to take it to the highest and most possible echelons of the YouTube sphere. And that's because of you guys. And I love your comments. I love your interactions at the moment. There's a lot of really good in-depth chat. There's a lot of good questions. And there's a lot of good banter as well. So you guys are brilliant. Unai's brilliant, but to be honest, he was a little too accepting of those 2 bottles. I agree. Often ball speed is much too slow. It drives me nuts, especially in the first half, Martin. And quickly on what Meeks is saying, do you think players perform like Cash Bailey even again to agree suffer from our tactical restrictions? Yeah, if you're not technically sound enough, then that is going to be a problem. And that's where you get found out of Villa, if you're not technically sound enough. So there we go. People, I'm going to redirect us. Who should we redirect to? I like this redirect to Starry. Oh, let's put Purely in. Yeah, come on, let's get Purely in the chat quickly. I've got to do my little shout out. She's been cute. She's had her record views on a short. Just done the wrong thing. I've taken my thing off. 1 second. Copy. Okay, 1 second. What has Josh just done? I've just messed up. Give me a second. Chat. Give me a second. I'm under pressure here. All right. Subscribe to Purely. Purely is my daughter, Starry. She's got her own YouTube channel. Please subscribe to her. We have got well, in fact, I'm really proud of her because she's had her highest views now on her shorts, which we're loving. And yeah, it's awesome. Here she is. I'm just going to share it now. And then I'm going to redirect us. And then we're going to bow out. She's really proud. Here it is. This Ronaldo one. She's done so well. I know some of you already... I know some of you have already subscribed to her. This is my daughter's channel. She does shorts. Look at this. Look at her cooking here. Look at her cooking. 3.9k views, 2.1k views, 1.3. She's cooking. We're proud of her. She's getting consistent. She's on 306 subs. Can we get a few more subs for her? Can we get her to 310? That would be amazing. Big up to the AVSTS clan. Oh, 307. Another one gains. So there we go. Do subscribe to Purely. Anyone who's done that, I've pinned the comment. She's saying thank you. She's in the background. But yeah, read text up. Pete is saying, what's Pete saying? For a year. By the way, Josh, been a member, but just mute and watch. But how now I have Honey JD and feel like I'm in Trinity Bar Online. In a weird way, good stuff up the Villa, mate. Pete, you're legends. Absolute legend, Pete. But yeah, love it. Thank you to everyone who's done that. Clay loves Ronaldo too. He'll sub. Big up Meeks. He'll get Clay. Yeah, you can hear Starry there. We'll sub to Clay's channel when it's up and running. Need to dip out and go pay for his car, but I'll accept the redirect and leave my phone here. Right, let's get on the redirect. Go subscribe to Purely. Make a day. We are going to redirect to what sort of fan channel? Who have we got? Who do I know? Who should we have? The young lad went nuts last time, but there's not many people live who I know. So let's go to videos from you. Let's see who else is live. Is there any other Aston Villa channels? Oh, should we go be horrible and raid a Palace channel? Crystal Palace. Let's see if I can find a Crystal Palace channel. Let's see if we can quickly raid no, there's not. There's no one we can trash talk. And no, Wolfie's not there. Let's just go to Red Devil United and say what are we going to say? What are we going to spam Red Devil United? They're a Man United fan channel. Let's say you've got no pool. You've got no pool. No, or Emi and Watkins reject you. Emi and Watkins reject you. All right. Put that in the Red Devil chat. All right. Let's annoy some Man U fans. Let's say Emi, or Debu and Watkins reject United. Or good luck with the relegation. Yeah, something like that. Just go hammer the United fans. I'm out of here. Big up to each and every single one of you. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Heidi and I are about to go eat a goated meal. Beans, toast, grated cheese. If that's not a W in life, I don't know what is. Beans, toast, grated cheese. Because we can't be bothered to cook. We're so hot. Beans on toast for dinner. Oh, with grated cheese. I tried to make it sound more flary, didn't I? I was like, we're having a bit of beans, a bit of toast. Yeah, but really, we're just having beans on toast for dinner, people. Yeah, and Warburton's brown bread. Brown bread, not the, yeah. Oh, yeah, Pete's loving it. Can't sign in brown, yeah. Just get into the United fans. Big up to each and every single one of you. Oh, massive shout out as well to Vamos VJ with a super chat from earlier. This guy always coming in clutch. Our guy, our resident mod. But yeah, beans on toast. Have some of that. Well, I've got sidetracked the beans on toast chat there. I'm out of here. Enough waffling. I'll see you all live and direct whenever we're next live. Peace. Ta-da.